Are you wondering, what do I mean by leading intentionally and the importance of this concept in your organization and how it's going to help you grow your profit line? Then you want to stay and listen, watch this episode. Welcome to Leading Intentionally, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of leadership transformation. I am Carmen Paredes, your guide in this journey, and I'm so thrilled to have you with us today. In each episode, we share strategies, insights, and stories to help you drive growth, enhance workplace culture, and lead with intentionality. Whether you are a seasoned executive, an aspired leader, or just someone passionate about positivity in the workplace, this podcast is for you. Each week, I'll bring you conversations with thought leaders, experts, and trailblazers that will share with you their insights, wisdom, and experiences so that you can apply these practical tips to your leadership journey. Get ready to explore topics like inclusive leadership, women's empowerment, effective communication, and so much more. If you're ready to lead intentionally and make lasting impact in your organization, you are in the right place. Let's embark in this transformative leadership journey together. This is Leading Intentionally. Let's dive in. Oh my God, I'm so excited for episode 1 of Leading Intentionally. And I wanted to start by talking about what is it. And I assure you that it's more than just a buzzword or a trendy leadership concept. Leading intentionally is a mindset shift, a way of approaching leadership with thoughtfulness and purpose. In this episode, we're going to dive deep into the core principles of leading intentionally, discuss how it will transform not only your leadership style, but your organization as a whole. And I'm also going to share with you some real life examples of world-class leaders that have used these principles to transform their organization and grow their profit lines. So let's start with what is leading intentionally. So I believe that at its essence, it's all about making a conscious choice in your leadership. Just being aware of the impact that you have on those that you lead and aligning your actions with your values and your goals. So, like Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. And it is true, so true when it comes to leadership. You're affecting people's life every day, all day long. And unless you are aware of that, who knows what kind of decisions and what kind of impact you have on those people. And this is what I say, that leading intentionally is not about reacting to situations, but to responding with purpose. It involves self-awareness, understanding your strengths and their strengths, your areas of growth and their areas of growth, and continuously growing and evolving and learning, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And leadership is not an exception. Leading intentionally is about fostering a positive and inclusive work environment where everyone feels included and valued. And I am not talking about servant leadership, by the record. I don't believe that thing works. Or even suggesting that we stay in a constant stage of kumbaya. What I mean is that we need to be compassionate. And compassionate leadership only comes from a deep understanding of self and others. Now that we have that out of the way, I want to share with you the real meat of this episode, which is the pillars of intentional leadership. In other words, how do you achieve it? And these pillars, I see them as this foundational bedrock where once you have them, then you can create a thriving, high-performing, successful team. I'm not speaking out of a textbook. I'm speaking out of a 20 plus year of leadership experience in tech and telecom, and as a former executive who's never had an employee quit on her. So take it for what it's worth. And I'm just going to jump into the pillars because there are several of them. The first one is clarity of purpose. What I mean is that when you can clearly communicate a compelling mission and vision from the organization and your team and your department, depending what kind of where in the ladder you are, depending what kind of leader you are. But when you can communicate that why so passionately with your team, and you can inspire them and motivate them, we're talking about intentional leadership. Then we have number two, self-awareness. Again, understanding your personal strengths, their personal strengths, your weaknesses, their weaknesses, your values, their values. Do they align? Do they align with the organization? How are you lead? How do they behave? All these things are so important to know at all times, like you have it written in the back of your palm, and continuously reflect on them and refine how you approach every situation with this information. Number three, effective communication. Transparency is key. Authenticity is a must. You need to walk your talk and do as you say, because otherwise they're not going to believe you. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to be engaged, and they are not going to give you their every ounce of of commitment to help you move the company forward. Empathy is number four, and empathy is an understanding of other people's perspectives and feelings. With empathy comes compassion. And what I always say to my executive clients is that compassion is something that you develop and cultivate when you realize that you're looking at life based on your own set of glasses, when you don't know what you don't know, because there's always another side of the story. And when you actually, instead of reacting, you are always trying to understand why is this person behaving, acting, reacting, communicating, performing the way they do. When you understand there's another human being on the other side who has a family, who have kids, who have debts, who have dreams, who have health problems maybe, and all these things can be affecting everybody at any given time. You actually put a hefty deposit in their bank account, in their emotional bank account, in their commitment towards you. Empathy and compassion. It's key to creating high performing teams, to reducing turnover, to increasing productivity and engagement. Because when you care, they care. And it helps you with the next one, with the next pillar, which is trust building. And trust is one of the things that you need to really take care of it like a treasure, because when you lose trust, and this is true for relationships with your peers, with your colleagues, with your team members, with your bosses, with your loved ones, with anybody, even with yourself. You lose trust in someone, good luck getting it back. Make sure you cultivate a culture of trust. And then we have strategic thinking. And this is very important because when you share your long-term vision and strategy with your team in a way that talks to that mission, to that why, to that purpose, in a way that you can share why you're so passionate about this, then they will feel like they're buying in the achievement of those goals with you. Now it's not your goals or the company's goal or the board of directors' goals. Now it's your goals all together like a team. Let's go do it. Adaptability will be the next thing. Because the matter of fact is, if you have been a leader for some time now, you know that There's one thing that's certain, and it's change. You have people coming and going, budgets getting cut, customers leave, deadlines change, products come and go, marketplace is chaotic sometimes. I mean, there's always change everywhere. Economy, presidents, who knows, right? But how you show up every day in the lens of those changes, in spite of those changes, and demonstrate to your team your resilience, which is another one we're going to talk later, and your flexibility. Now you are being someone they can admire and follow and really call a leader. Then we have accountability. And this one is one that sometimes drives me crazy because I've seen so many times leaders that delegate responsibility. And you can't. It is your responsibility to make sure they perform. It is your responsibility to get the results. If something goes wrong on a project that you delegated, it's your fault because you didn't vet the circumstances, you didn't train them correctly, you didn't develop them. So do not go blaming your team for things that didn't go right, but please give them the praise when everything goes as expected. And then we have continuous learning. You have to foster a culture of ongoing development for you and your team. You need to encourage the curiosity and the commitment to personal and professional growth, and these two go hand by hand. You can't grow forever professionally if you are leaving your personal growth, on the back. There's gonna come a day where you're not gonna be able to bust through that glass ceiling because you haven't worked on yourself. Trust me. You can ask me how I know. Then it comes empowerment. Empowerment comes when you actually stop being a micromanager or a helicopter boss and let your team make mistakes. Learn from their experiences, right? It's like parenthood. You can't be holding your kid's hand when they are 18 years old to cross the street. Hopefully, you teach them before that day came how to cross the street and look both sides. Same with leadership. They will never feel empowered and committed to your mission if you don't let them prove you that they can do it, right? You gotta give them the opportunity to show you what they're made of. And that way also they will see that they have an opportunity to grow, which enhances commitment and engagement in the company. Two more. Resilience. I kind of teased it earlier, but resilience is the ability to navigate challenges with a positive attitude. And the key here is learning from your setbacks and how you use that as an improvement. And you can take your own catastrophic moments or setback moments and share them with your teams and your one-on-ones. Like, this happened to me and this is what I learned and this is how we're going to move forward. Show them that you're human, but that you're moving forward. And the last one is one that we have to embrace if you want to stay in business, and it's cultural awareness. And I have been so many times the victim of cultural ignorance, right? Not a surprise here, right? I am a Latina with an accent. And it is very important that companies understand and appreciate the diversity within the team and the importance that comes with promoting culture, diversity, and different backgrounds and perspectives. Because when you're trying to grow your market share, and this is just one of the reasons, you have to go to diverse locations, diverse groups. And one of the easiest way to do that is by having people who think differently. That is with ethnicity, but there is gender diversity and all kinds of things I'm not going to get in this episode. This is one way that your company will succeed or fail if you don't really embrace. And I mean embracing, because I also seen companies pretending to embrace DEI, but they are just lip service. People can read that. So don't do that either. Now, I'm so excited to share with you real life examples of amazing world-class leaders who have used some of these principles of intentional leadership to drive amazing results, growth, and transformation in their organizations. No particular order, and I hope I pronounce all these names right. So first we have Satya Nadella from Microsoft, and he embodies clarity of purpose, empathy, and continuous learning as the pillars of intentional leadership that he has demonstrated. He has been very intentional about fostering a more inclusive workplace and encouraging continuous learning and innovation. And we have Mary Barra from General Motors. The pillars that she demonstrated were accountability, adaptability, and trust building. She led the company through challenging times by making tough decisions, rebuilding trust, and positioning General Motors as a leader in electric and autonomous vehicles. Tim Cook from Apple demonstrated the pillars of strategic thinking, empowerment, and self-awareness. He empowers his team, fosters a culture of innovation, and maintains strong focus on the company's core values. Indra Nuji, I hope I said it right. She demonstrated strategic thinking, empowerment, and cultural awareness, and she was the former CEO of PepsiCo. And as she empowered her team and prioritized diversity and inclusion when it wasn't a thing, recognized the importance of a culturally aware and diverse workforce. Richard Branson from Virgin Group demonstrated pillars of adaptability, empowerment, and resilience. He empowers his employees, encouraged a positive and innovative culture, and has shown resilience in the face of business challenges. Last but not least, Jimmy Rometty. Pillars demonstrated strategic thinking, accountability, and trust building. She was the former CEO of IBM and exhibit intentional leadership by focusing on strategic transformations to keep IBM competitive in the technology industry. And I mean, I know there are a lot of leaders out there, you perhaps, definitely me, who exhibit these pillars of intentional leadership on their everyday interactions with employees, peers, customers. And so please don't feel offended because you weren't on the list, but this is a great opportunity to let you know that if you feel like you exhibit the pillars of intentional leadership on your everyday interaction, I would love to have you here on the show to interview you and have a conversation about how you apply these pillars for success in your company. And this will be an amazing opportunity for a couple of reasons. First, because we get to congratulate you for being one of the few leaders in this world that understands the importance of intentional leadership. Two, we get to share your expertise with other leaders or aspiring leaders in the industry so they can learn, and hopefully you and me together can get to transform the workplace once and for all. And third, because why not? I love to have conversation with smart, capable, compassionate, intentional leaders like you. And so as we wrap this first episode of Leading Intentionally, I want to encourage you to reflect on your leadership style and really understand, close your eyes and put your hands in your chest. Yes, I'm going to get there. How intentional are you being with your actions and your decisions and the way you're impacting and influencing people every day? What kind of changes can you make to lead with a greater purpose? And I invite you to join us next week as we delve into more amazing topics when it comes to leading intentionally. And definitely thank you for being here in our first episode. And if you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review. And until next time, lead with intention.